Hey guys, what's going on? This is Zero and welcome back to another episode of Skyfactory 3.0. And as you can see behind me, this mob farm is working out pretty nicely. In fact, so nicely that we've gotten our cleaver up to godlike level, which is pretty insane, all things considering how much XP it actually takes to get it up to this high. One of the things I'd like to do today is take this nasty cleaver, which it still has a ways to go. This is supposed to be our 90 damage. Oh, that's pretty loud. That's better. So that's supposed to be our 90 damage weapon from our achievements from Mr. Bacon. And what we'd like to use this cleaver for is a little special project where we'll be using some of this reinforced obsidian. And if you look in the tooltip there, you'll see Witherproof. Instead of venturing far out into the nether, we're actually going to do this right by our portal. And what I plan on doing is running a little experiment. What I'd like to do is set up just a little wither area. This should be a pretty good distance. And we'll build ourselves a little platform here. I got a builder's wand, but I'm going to go ahead and just build this little structure out. And I'm using redstone, one, because we have a ton of it. Two, I would like to have the visual cue as to see just how much damage this wither will do outside of its cage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some of this reinforced obsidian down, and we're going to find center. So center's right here. Oh, we got to go one more, don't we? There we go. And center is 1, 2, 3. Should be right here. Okay. And we'll build this out like so and like so. And so the wither will sit here, and we'll make this here, here, and here. So what I've noticed before is when I've tried to build these wither spawners is that they do have a blast radius that goes outside their cage, and it goes right into this area right here. So it is important, if you don't want anything to get destroyed, either seal this up or don't place anything there. But I want to see if that still stands true in this version. So we're going to continue building this up. A couple more. And I haven't tried to break this with my pickaxe yet, so it could be a little on the rough side if we go too far up here and we have to break back down. So I don't want to do that just yet. But our goal for this experiment is, one, obviously defeat the wither, and two is to define the method of farming him. I've got one more skull to place down, but before I do that, I want to make sure that I seal in these corners with a breakable block, just to test exactly how strong his blast radius is. If we don't need to fill this in, we won't fill it in. We obviously have plenty of resources to do that, but if we can save on them, and we can learn something more about the wither, more power to us. I'd also want to build up a little barrier just around here and here. The cool thing about Killer Joe is that he attacks in I believe it's a 5x5 area in front of him, no matter if there's blocks obstructing him. So I want to make sure that we can place him outside here safely and don't have to worry about him getting destroyed. Alright, we've gone ahead and I've placed soul sand in here, and there's 2 skulls. So let's go ahead and place our last skull on here, and then I'm going to go ahead and seal this up. Alright. And now for the initial blast. Okay, he did destroy a lot, and he did definitely destroy the corners. So let's see if he can target us here. Can't. Good. So this would actually be a pretty good spot for Joe. And, ladies and gentlemen, this will be our first wither kill. Excellent. I've got one more test I want to do. And that is test to see if his initial blast radius destroys any of these blocks up here. Oh. Interesting, it did not. I was not expecting that. I'm confident in this build so much that we're going to take this to the overworld. And I say that because I think it's important to have the wither there. I guess we could build him out by Killer Joe in the nether, because we do have a chunk loader out there. That's always a possibility, but then again, we want to make sure that we have control over our soul sand sources. So if we go ahead and place them out in the nether, we might end up burning through all of our soul sand too fast. So I want to make sure that we can automate him and turn it on and off as we see fit. I'm really digging these mineral logs. I think they're like, the color, super cool, and the texture is really, really nice. So I was thinking guys, maybe if I could place logs correctly, that'd be nice. Maybe we do a nice little it's like super tree right here in the middle, and kind of just like sprouting out, projecting up into the sky from our base, and give it like maybe some like roots and some bushing around it, kind of give it some overgrowth. Still wish I could place these logs correctly. I guess I do have to place them like downward once in order to make this work. Yeah, give them a little growth to them. Make them look like, you know, like the base is basically built off this one tree. Like I said earlier, I really want to do some crazy structures out of this. So this is kind of like the start of some spires that we're doing, and the garden is controlled in here, the automated farming system. And that was kind of the idea I had for the dragon area. I didn't expect that really to happen. So we're gonna go back in there and make it look more like kind of a roost or a nest. But let's go ahead and build this tree up, kind of make it a pretty cool looking tree, and then we're gonna go ahead and start our wither farm over in this direction. When making custom trees, I think it's important to make sure you use a lot of just robust amount of angles. You don't want to have like a bunch of flat surfaces. It looks really weird, like almost like a wall, and kind of unnatural. So it's important to get those nice angled surfaces going. And I'm just building up like this at different staggered heights, just so I can get an idea to when we can start building some branches on it. This is obviously going to be a very, very large tree. One of the things I like to do is also build kind of a retaining structure, just kind of know so I can understand where to start placing my leaves at. We may use different leaves in here. The mineral leaves obviously fit the tree pretty well in terms of the color scheme. But this basically, you just kind of place them, you know? You can follow the perimeter around it, or you can just randomly place. It's important to make sure that we get everything covered in here. It's okay to have a couple exposed edges here, but I think what is most important is to make sure that all the primary logs are concealed. Don't over conceal them though, because if you overlap too many leaves, you won't be able to see the logs through them, and it kind of defeats the purpose altogether of making these large branches. I know the stairs are a little random on the color, but what do you think of that purple? I kind of like it. What I don't like is that this is a 4 wide stairway, and I think we can narrow it down to 3. We are not actually going to use this portion of it over here, so we can narrow it down to 3, and let's just make it a 5. That seems to make the most sense. I think the idea behind this one is going to be a little bit of overgrowth, since we have this giant mineral tree growing here. There'll be kind of a side passage off here, because when you walk up this direction, you don't necessarily see it right away. You kind of look. You're going to look forward ahead, and you're going to see the dragon pen and then the actually additions stuff over here. But over here will be a tiny little side path, tiny little side path, and we'll put a little more overgrowth over here, kind of match the ancient ruin look over here, and maybe we'll entwine the forge-ish thing into the mineral tree, and then we'll climb up here, and then we'll find our wither farm. Now up here, I want to do some ruined spiky pillars, not like the arches over there, but something kind of get this nice little angle here at the back, and we're gonna bring it out just a couple. We'll make it a 3x3 structure, and so your largest point will be your angle corner over here, and then you'll have something like this. And with that, I want to go ahead and mix some other stones in here. So we'll take out this center block. We're trying to go for this ruin look, so it doesn't need to be really pretty. The floor will stay the way it is, because I feel like, you know, like kind of a sci-fi-ish ruined temple. You always see the floors always seem to be like really like kept in good condition as compared to like all the structures and machines, and I don't know why that is. Now we'll just throw in some stairs, some random places, maybe in a corner here. Definitely not upside down though. That looks a little on the silly side. Place them there, and like that. Basically trying to break up any of these. If you see a 2x2 block structure, we don't want that. And then we will go ahead and throw in some slabs on top of those. Place that here, and that looks Okay, kind of like a ruined, altered structure. A little off-camera action. I am ashamed. I wanted steampunk. Just a little, guys. Just a little bit. And I added in this giant pipe up here with some steam slash it's ash clouds, but it looks like steam, and it runs this length over here. And I tried using some of these factory blocks, which they look kind of cool. Kind of trying to figure out how to use them though. They get kind of like this really messy pattern. This is the vent. The vents are pretty cool. Might be able to utilize that later. The outside, I found these. They're from a mod pack called Missing Pieces, and you got pillars and wedges, and there's some other pieces in there too. Look like they're kind of deco craft. And I ended up kind of like making this little smokestack. I don't know. I kind of like it. Kind of matches our other chimney, our smeltery smokestack over here, which is pretty cool looking. But it is kind of a steampunk aspect to it, and I know that's not necessarily the goal, the overall theme that we're going for. But I thought it looked really cool, and so I kind of wanted to. Can I keep it? Can I keep it? We're keeping it. All right. So moving on, I added in some of these twinkling lights. They kind of remind me of a sci-fi design from Little Chinatown that you would see like in the movies, like in the kung fu movies. You know, when you're going downtown and get those lights hanging. I think they're pretty cool. And then we have the path to our wither farm. So I threw some wither skulls in here, some seared bricks. I wanted to kind of chop out a few trees here, as it is a rune path. It is, but it's also being used. So we know of its existence, and therefore we try to chop down this mineral log tree, and it keeps growing back. But you know, it exists. It exists. And therefore, we keep it there. We keep it the majority of it there, but we still travel pretty often up here. And then here is our platform for our wither skeleton farm, or sorry, wither farm. All right, guys. So I have this idea. As we were experimenting, we found out that the corners get blown out by the wither's initial explosion. However, the base and the surrounding structures are fine. So to get started with this build, we gotta find our center point, which should be right. We gotta find like the area with the most space. It's right here. And maybe, yeah, I wanna be able to walk up here and visualize it or see it. And then on the other side, we'll have Killer Joe taking care of everything. So we need to make sure that we have a good safe distance from Killer Joe as well. And we're gonna actually maximize his distance from the wither. And then our viewing glass, I want to keep everything at least in a 3x3 pattern. So that should work out right there. And I haven't made any of that glass yet. We'll look at that recipe here in just a moment. I just want to go ahead and get the initial killing chamber set up. One of the things that we do need to look out for is with the wither's initial explosion, the devices that we're using to place them. We could use dispensers, but I would rather try using these auto placers from actually additions. They seem like they pretty much do the same thing, and we can add filters to them and everything, so I'd like to give those a shot. We'll place some fans up top that'll be pushing downward, so hopefully keeping the wither from moving anywhere else. Let's go ahead and keep building this up just a little bit more. Again, the further he has to fall, the better, and I think I want to say this looks pretty good. This looks like a pretty good height to go with. The Placers interface is much similar to the Reconstructor interface. So we'll just go ahead and place them here. Oh, I don't think that's correct. Let me see, is this? Yeah, we need it facing like that. Can I use a wrench on it? How about this? Nope, we're gonna have to replace it. There we go. And we'll go here in the sides. This will be our soul sand. And then our wither skulls. Perfect. Before we go any further, let's look at some wither-proof glass. Now this is pretty easy to find in Skyfactory's interfaces. You just look up wither, because a lot of things specify that they are wither-proof. So here's one. It just requires glass, and with that is a ridiculously easy recipe. My goodness. I want to make 64. Okay, we made 64 of them. Nice. Okay, well that was that should have not been that easy. I'm pretty okay with this. All right, let's go ahead and place this glass down. It doesn't look very good though. I will say that it's got the grid in it, which not a fan. So next thing we need to do is move items into these auto placers. And I've got myself some exporters here from our refined storage system. And what I want to do is I don't want to overload these. I want to make sure that they each get like one piece in at a time. If we just overload them with soul sand and wither skulls, we're gonna basically drain our system entirely, and we might like not get enough in one per time. So I am looking to find if there's a certain filter we can add to these. I crafted up a few different things, and we're gonna give them a shot here. So this is the grid filter from RF or RS, sorry, and it can go in here. Okay, it can't go in there. Grid filter. Okay, I don't know what that does. And then we have a relay and an interface. So I think the interface actually hooks up directly to it. And interface import, export, and this will give us different signals and an OR dictionary. I want to say that this defines how much is going to go in there at any given time. So if we were to hook this up to something, just let me go ahead and break this back down. And let's just take one of these down closer to our refined storage system just to test it out. So if I bring this down here and I hook it up, was it the relay? Interface. Interface is what we want. So I put the interface here, and then I go ahead and put our auto placer here. And I say I want to have in this chest at all times. I gotta find something that we have a lot of in our storage. Let's go with 10. We'll go. I always want in this chest 10 cables, no matter what. Okay. Okay. Sorry about that. Maybe I always want 10. Yes. Okay. So I always want 10 in here at all times. So interface, export, 10 cables at all times. And then I need to find a way to transfer this over to here. And I don't see... Work with our signal. Okay, that's not really a big deal. I would like to find a way to stay within the refined storage mod. I have this, which is great, but now I need to make sure that it gets passed on. And I could do it through Ender IO conduits. That'd be pretty simple. As long as I go here, disable that, import, and then set them to active without signal, and insert. This will always place. Okay, but it shouldn't. Still not working. My next idea is, oh, not 50, not 50. I just want one. Just want one. Actually, we'll do 3. Let's actually simulate the wither skeleton. So we'll do 7 of our soul sand, which will be demonstrated in our cables, if I can get there. So we always want 7 cables, which I'll go put these back in the refined storage system. So what we always want to do is we want to have 7 cables and 3 ash clouds in this given location that we specify. Now, in order to do that, we have our interface set up, and I want to use the placer, like so, and then we'll use this item conduit from Ender IO. Currently they're set up wrong, but that's fine. So we always want to insert an item filter here, and this is a counting item filter. So place in crafting grid to clear. Oh, do I have to open it first? Okay, it doesn't seem to do that. Okay, and I want to take... I only want to put in 1 ash cloud in this location. safety mode, ignore damage. Okay. And then this extraction is active without signal. So it'll always have one in there, no matter what. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, before we get excited, let's take that off. And let's put our cable on there. I always want one cable in here. And there's only one cable. That's it. Nice. For our timer, we're going to use the RF Tools timer. This one's really nice. It actually has a pretty nice interface, pretty simple to use. The machine base, I think we can use pretty much anything after this. So let me grab some cobble. Oh, cobble doesn't work. Okay, maybe not. Let's go with stone. Can we use stone bricks? No, we cannot. That's not good. Turns out you can use regular stone. We're okay. So we'll use that, and then back to our timer. There's another one from Dark Utilities. Might take a look at that one later. So this should be good to go. So we got our timer now. Redstone. We need to have a torch, so we can toggle our auto placers, and we need a lever. Oh my goodness. Always make sure you're in the text field. Otherwise you're creating all sorts of craziness. Let's grab some soul sand. We'll just grab a large amount for now. Wither skeleton skulls. And we're good to go. One of the super cool things that we actually get to reap the benefits of, finally some luck our way, is utilizing Ender IO conduits in addition to our redstone conduits. We'll go ahead and throw these all on here, and then we'll throw our redstone conduits on here if we can. I'm sure I can just click on it here. There we go. And you can see these circuits are starting to really bulk up, which I think that looks really cool. All right, and now we just need to determine which way we want them to come down, which I imagine we'll have them come off the side and down here, as long as they are not affected by the blast. At least the redstone circuitry, not so much the, well, now I'm thinking about it. Maybe we don't want it to come down there. I would like to have the lever like somewhere over here, so maybe it'll reach around here. That way we can activate it on and off if we need to. And as I mentioned before, we are throwing some fans on here just to make sure that we can continually push the wither down and keep them down here as much as possible. The last thing we want them to do is fly up here and damage everything. And I am still not 100% that that's out of the blast radius. We're gonna hope it is during our first test. Let's go ahead and check out Joe's attack range. It should be contained within this box. Okay, so definitely need to move it back, which is a good thing. That's a good thing. So let's move it back here and show range. Perfect. And as you know, this row or this column right here doesn't necessarily matter. It's the wall, so it's just pretty much everything right in here. And this also just so happens to be a pretty good range from our fans. These, I believe, push 7 blocks by themselves by default without any modifications, and therefore they fall right into Joe's range. And since Joe doesn't need to be able to see his target, he should be able to attack this with no problems. One of the next key components to our puzzle is making sure that we can get the items out of this cage. And I believe that the mob grinder utilities hopper can pull things through walls. I'm not necessarily sure, but I'm fairly confident it can, and it does in a 7x7 radius, so that should handle everything in there. We're just going to use an dimensional transceiver and set him up to receive RF. Okay. And then for his fluids, he will also receive the distillational fluid. Or is it distillational? Nutrient. Okay, it doesn't say. Neutral distillation, I believe it's called. So that'll go into Joe, and Joe is now active. He just needs a weapon. Okay, and this is receiving items directly into our refined storage system. And then next thing we will do is go ahead and place an Ender IO conduit here And I'm going to set this up to be configured to receive the XP. This will be set to insert. So at some point we will configure something with our dimensional transceiver network to receive XP. As long as I can pull through walls, that shouldn't be an issue. Okay, so I've handed Joe the cleaver. We've got everything loaded up in there. It's time to do a dry run. Uh-oh, we have a delay. Everything's split. Oh, our middle one's missing. Did it not? In, out, normal. Oh, you know what? Because it tries to place it so fast that it places it too low. Test number 2. So this time we didn't get any soul sent out here. Why is that? Oh, great. Number 3. Take 4. Oh, baby. Okay. So the fans are working. Joe's got the cleaver. Oh, not good. All right. Next test. We good? Okay, we have a wither, and he's trying to fly up, but he can't. He's right in Joe's radius. There's nothing he can do. Alright, so it takes Joe approximately 20 seconds to kill a wither. And we'll go over here, put our clock in. Oh, and we just spawned another wither. Not what I meant to do. And that should do it. Okay, so they're spawning in pretty quickly. I went ahead and just increased the timer a little bit on it. Again, it's not a big deal. Like, I like getting a lot of wither skeletons or withers going, but we're running into this issue again. Yeah, that's because I briefly changed the timer, so I need to go ahead and lock the timer up and redo that. All right, guys, there you have it. Our wither farm, set up, efficient and effective, and toggleable. Check it out, guys. Check it out. We had a little fishing net set up a little while ago. And look at all these fish we've gotten. And you can also take these guys, these raw catfish, and turn them into fish, which I think is a good thing, because the more fish, the more happy our dragon's going to be. Then we need to take a saddle, correct? And this is how we make dreams come true. Please love me more. Breedable. Oh boy. I don't know how. Okay, I can't give him any more. Can I put the saddle on? Oh, yes. Yes. Oh man. That's a little goofy looking. Can he breathe fire or anything? That'd be pretty cool. Oh, no. Come back. Oh, okay. Oh, nope. There we go. My neck physics are broken. That's fine. Oh, good day. Good day, everybody. Unfortunately, it is that time. It is that time to move on with our lives. It's time for you to step away from YouTube and go do something. But before we do that, it's time to look at the achievement book. There we go. Got it. All right. In my best reading voice, where do we start? Okay, this beginning. So, we didn't do any of this stuff yet. We haven't. We're getting there, though. We're getting there. Promise. We did kill Wither. We have not traveled to the Beneath the Dimension. That's going to be something we're going to do pretty soon, I hope. And I know there's something we did in here. Oh, you know what? We can do this. We can do this right here. Let's go ahead and do that before we wrap it up. Builder. No. Wand. Perfect. Okay, so the Unbreakable Builders one requires 2 sticks and another star. Check. Done. Unbreakable. Done. So we're waiting on that. The cleaver is not getting as powerful as I thought. There might be a different item out there that I'm not aware of. Haven't done any of this yet. Haven't done. Nope. Nope. Automated wither killing. You can check that off the list. So we knocked a few more things off the list. We even flew and trained a dragon. How cool is that? You don't get to see that every day. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.